My name is Anoosheh Ashoori. I am a retired engineer and an ex-hostage. I was abducted in the streets of Tehran in 2017, in August, when I went to visit my mom, who was recovering from a knee operation. And out of the blue, I was abducted in the street as I was going to have the zipper of my suitcase repaired in the local market, but I didn't get to that point. So at the foot of the hill, a car stopped in front of me. 4 very strong men came out and they manhandled me into the car, and we headed towards the east of Tehran in a motorway. And it was there when I was given a piece of paper which was my arrest warrant, and on top of it, all that I can remember is that it was written the anti-espionage department of the Ministry of Intelligence, and it was taken away from me straight away, and I was given a blindfold and I was told to lay my head on the lap of the person sitting in the car, in the back of the car next to my left. So from there on, my ordeal started. That took nearly more than a year. I think between a year and 2, I can't remember exactly. And you're always hoping that your innocence will be proven, and then you come out acquitted of all charges. But you're unaware of the fact that all of this is a plot for something else, which was the UK debt to Iran. When I was given that sentence, it was that hanging judge, or judge of death, Salavati, who gave it to me. And it was written 10 years plus 2 years, which adds up to 12 years. But because I wasn't, I'm quite illiterate as far as legal terms are concerned, I was given the 10-year. Apparently, when you have got 2 sentences, you have to serve the longer one. So that 2 years was eliminated, otherwise it would have been 12 years. So I became quite angry at him, and I went back to him and I said, well, why don't you give me the other 2 years? So I was quite aggressive towards him, if I may say. And then he explained to me that this is their procedure. So yeah, and I was returned to Evin prison after that. Well, 4 years and 7 months and 4 days, to be exact. I lived through almost every single day of it, and I'm still going through flashbacks. What they used to tell there, it was quite famous. It was a saying that in Evin prison, days look like centuries, but years seem like days, because you go around seeing people and you ask how long you're here. The other guy says 9 years. The other one says 7 years. But then every second, every minute of spending time in that circle of hell, in itself is quite a long time. You have to fill in those times by doing things, otherwise you would go insane. Well, I decided to be active, and in order to fight insanity, because you're expected to be there for 10 years at least. So I decided taking sports, like exercises, and I joined a group who did everyday workouts. And later on we formed societies, because most of the people in Hall 12 were highly educated. So we decided to have these societies. We had poetry society, we had story writing society. Somebody taught us economics, who was a lecturer at one of the very famous universities in Tehran. Another one was an MD, so we could ask for, he used to teach us biology, for example. You have to fill in your time from early morning right to about at 12 o'clock at night, so that your mind would not wander, because you could see other people who were not active. They were actually hit severely by just ruminating on their past, for example. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to mention names, but I had friends who were actually expecting execution, but most of them were with such high spirit that they became my role models in a way. I had to spend 10 years, and then I knew that I would be out. But those with execution sentence, they had to anticipate every morning to be called, to be taken to the gallows. So when I compared myself with them, I was so belittled in a way. So they were very, very fine people, and many of them didn't deserve to be there. Well, we were in Ward 4, and Ward 4 consists of 4 halls. In each hall there are a few hundred people, inmates. But we shared the same time when we were in the marquetry workshop, and we both did a lot of artwork in the marquetry workshop, and we got to know each other from there, and I really realized how kind, what a fantastic human being he is. And his pain was in fact more severe than others, because he had this son, Amir Ali, who had many medical issues, and he was not allowed to go and visit him. And even when his condition became critical, and he was there begging the authorities to allow him to go and visit his son in the hospital, they didn't. And after he passed away, it took quite a while before he was allowed to go to attend the funeral. I mean, even now it is so crystal clear, all of that pain that he was going through, and he's still there, still grappling with all these situations. Yeah. In one of my messages, voice messages, I have said that you see so many people walking back and forth and asking themselves, why me? At least if I had done something, I could have justified it. But when I haven't done anything wrong, I mean, people like Yasser and a few other friends who were converts from Islam to Christianity, they're just prisoners of conscience. I mean, we are born. When we are born, we haven't chosen our names, and we haven't chosen our religion, because it is given to us. So when we grow up, it is up to us to decide what we want to be. Do we want to believe, or do we not want to believe? One has to have the right for the freedom to choose their religion and the freedom of thought. Unfortunately, in that country, that doesn't exist. I remember one day when I was going through very intense interrogation, and I was trying to tell my interrogator, look, you don't have any evidence that I'm guilty of anything. And I ended up telling him that, look, you know I am innocent. People who know me know that I am not a person who would do these things that you are accusing me of. And all the people I know, all the people who know me, once this news breaks out, because I wasn't still made public, all of these people will turn against you rather than me, because they know me. So my wife, my kids, my friends, my relatives, all of them are going to become your enemies. And if you're holding people like me who are innocent here, how many of these enemies can you afford? And he just stared at me without any answer. Among the thousands of lies they have said, this can be considered one of those many lies, because I met these people. This is again, everything, a lot of the filth actually is hidden under a veneer of legality and I mean, you would look at it from the outside and you would say, well, what is the problem? But you just need to get inside, then to see that filth, to see that rotten way of thinking that exists there. Of course it is so. Unfortunately, not in Britain, everywhere in the world, news must be attractive. I remember somebody told told my wife or my daughter, somebody somewhere, where they actually complained about why we are not being also mentioned as frequently. And a journalist told them that your news is not sexy enough. So then it becomes doubly difficult for you. And then compare me with Yasser, who is so, his name is so obscure, he's not even being mentioned. And the reason I am here is to let Yasser know, to let people like Yasser know that although I am free, I am here in Britain, I have not forgotten about them. One of the reasons one can survive in a prison like Evin is that they know that somebody is thinking of them. They know that they are not forgotten. And once you know that element of hope is there for you. So you can carry on that little further until your freedom arrives. Publicity in a general form is a must, because social awareness is a must. Mentioning names, one should be very careful, because that may have precautions that we don't want, by our advocacy, somebody get into trouble. So I think what you are doing is such a sacred thing in a way, that you are raising your voice to the people of the world and promoting social awareness about these atrocities. And perhaps that is why in Iran, people who are actually accused of apostasy, they are not being executed because of the international repercussions there. So they are being a bit careful. Otherwise, they would be exactly the same as Taliban. I mean, they would execute any convert straight away. It's quite complicated because they have got relatives and the authorities don't have any red lines. They can arrest relatives, they can threaten you. I mean, they threatened me that they would kill my family members. And when I told my interrogator that, look, they are in Britain, you cannot reach them, he told me, remember Bakhtiar. And I mean, that was it. I mean, I got my answer. So many of the people who are silent is because of the fear of harm coming to their loved ones because they are still in Iran. The idea of running the London Marathon started from when I started participating with these people who were doing workouts, and I started to extend the time of my running from 10 minutes, where I went short of breath, and one day I did 2 hours That's when I treated everybody with cake. And when I returned to our hall, there was this satirist prisoner. And as I entered, at the end of the patio that we had for fresh air, he was waving this book, and that was the book by Haruki Murakami, What I Talk About When I Talk About Running. So when I read that, the idea of running the London Marathon crystallized in my mind. And that, together with another book by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, which conveys this message that if you are going through a lot of suffering and pain, if you try to find a purpose or create a purpose in that suffering, then it's not going to be as painful as it used to be. So the combination of these two books created this idea. They inspired me to work and do my best, so that when I am released, whenever, that would be perhaps when I was 74 years old, I would run the London Marathon. That would be the aim, but the purpose would be to run that London Marathon in support of all of the people I've left behind and all the people who are innocently stuck in the prisons in Iran. So that's what I've been doing. And I did it in support of Amnesty International and Hostage International, who have been of great help, both while I was in Evin prison and afterwards. Fingers crossed, because I've got knee problems, and those 17 days of hunger strike in the interrogation center led to my loss of weight. So I was 82 kilograms, then it became 65 kilograms. So that helped me towards my reduction of weight, which consequently made me be able to run that long. So if my knees hold and they don't betray me, hopefully I will run the next London Marathon. Yeah, especially it's the time that you should retire. Enjoy your life with your wife, with your family, perhaps with your grandchildren, and then this happens. For a lot of us in that situation, it is very difficult to find hope and to fight and go forward, hoping that you would be released one day. Luckily, I know a couple of old age prisoners who were released. They were dual nationals as well, but there are quite a number of them still in. I mean, I think I can think of 3 or 4 who are above the age of 70, and they are still there. One thing that I can say is that in Evin prison, one element that kept you going was hope, but then there was the toxicity of hope, because if you are too hopeful, then it can work against you. So I am hopeful that in the future we are going to see positive change in Iran, but without perseverance, without being active, that may not happen. So at the same time as I am hopeful that good change will happen, it all depends on how much active we are as people with conscience, who would actually work towards helping those who are grappling with dire situations in places like Evin. I'm really hopeful that one day soon, we will, not only me, many of us who are living outside Iran will be able to go back, because I think the days of these people are numbered. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't carry on this fight, this campaign, but hopefully soon we will see change.